Hi guys, welcome to our tutorial on the R9T. This one is going to be about removing the charcoal canister. Now, a quick little bit of background on the charcoal canister. They've been on there for a very long time on all models for the US models. However, all of the European models from the Euro 4, so that's 2017 onwards, have a canister fitted. Now, the reason that they're there, previously on the Euro 3, so 2014 to 16 model, you'd have two breathers coming down from the underneath of the tank, and on a really hot day when the fuel expands, the gases will basically, the evaporation will just sort of go off into the atmosphere, basically. So when the EU4 regulations came around, they stated that the gases had to be captured. So this canister here has got charcoal in it, and what happens now is that your evaporated gases will come out of the tank on a hot day and into here in order to be soaked up and not just basically go out into the air. So it's safe to remove them. There's no problems with removing them. It doesn't affect the running in any way. The only thing you do have to consider is that the starter relay is attached to it. So what we're going to do is just unpop the side cover here. We're going to take this canister off, and then we're just going to take the under tray off and put the canister, the starter relay back underneath the seat, which is a really neat, easy, local way to locate it. So I'm going to start off with a T25 and just take the cover off here. A T25, thankfully, is pretty much the only tool you'll need for this, apart from maybe a small screwdriver and some snips. So I'm going to get cracking on this, and yeah, I'll let you know how we get on. So underneath that cover, we've got a breather valve, which is plugged in. So they do need to stay plugged in, and they do need to stay in location. However, this pipe work can all come off, so you can unplug it for a sec. It just slides off of this tab here. Take the tube off of this end, take the tube off of this end, that can now be discarded. This can then pop on back onto the tab, and that's basically as much as you need to worry about that section. Do note that this end here on the back of the throttle body is now exposed. Now this needs to be covered off. This is the point where you balance the throttles, just basically checking the car balance is correct. So that needs to have some sort of cover on there so it's not taking in too much air and ruining the mixture. So this is a Protection Cap. You can find these from BMW dealership. We'll put the part number in the bottom of the notes for this tutorial, so that's all on there. You will need to buy that or something similar to make sure that goes on there to make sure air doesn't get in. So now that we've attached this back to the tab, this cover can actually go back on. So I'll do that now because it's always better to close a box once you've opened it instead of starting too many projects. So moving to the canister itself, you've got two T25 bolts on there. So take your T25 bit and attack the first one, which is located just down here. It is quite close to the frame, so you're going to need some sort of extension or a long bit for this bit to go through. It's just on a little slide nut there, so there's no torques or anything to worry about. At this point, I do find it slightly easier to remove a lot of the pipe work from it because it just allows you a little bit more access to access the bolts at the top. So they can be a bit stubborn, but effectively you want to remove all of the pipe works for now. This top one here that faces the back, this one will stay on the bike. This is basically your original breather pipe and will get clipped in here in a second. If you undo the two at the bottom, what you'll find, if you just pivot this down a little bit just to free up a bit of space in order to get to that bolt, you can then get a few more of these pipes off. Well then, it can be a bit tough to get in here. Again, an extension is always best to do it. I'm going to take the top bolt off as well. Also a T25. So once that's off, you've basically got a lot more movement, a lot more flexibility to start attacking some of these pipes. What you want to do is just dislodge all of them. It can help if you snip this cable tie from the starter motor here. Again, just allowing you a bit more freedom. There we go, there's one. So the other end of the top pipe is back here. This is the one we disconnected from the breather valve earlier. So basically, you just need to pull that one through at this point. Et voila. So we're left with one pipe here, the one that's got the large kink on it that's sat at the top. That one's going to remain and stay in place. So that can just sit down here and get clipped in. We've got the long breather, which is the original breather, that also stays in place. And we've now freed up the canister here. So all that's now left attaching that to that is the fact that the starter motor is connected to it. So use a screwdriver and just remove that from its clip. And there we go. That's what it looks like off of the bike. It's it's a quick job. That's taken me no more than about sort of 3 or 4 minutes, to be honest. So all that's left now is just to remove these slide nuts just to tidy the job up. And then this starter relay we're going to locate up in here. So in order to do that, because unfortunately this tray won't quite drop down because of the adjuster on the rear shock, I'm going to drop down the T25 bolts. There's 8 in total, 4 for the rear tray, 4 for the middle tray. Relocate this under here, and then I'm just going to strap it somewhere tidy out of the way. One tray done, on to the next. So, that one can lay on the back there. Don't need to disconnect anything here if you don't want to. Obviously you can if you choose to, just to be a bit secure. We've done this a reasonable amount of times, it shouldn't fall off. Just create enough space there basically to be able to put the starter motor relay, the starter relay up on the underside. And then basically, once it's in place, go back round, 8 bolts, straight back on again. So when you're doing the under trays, when you're putting them back on, do bear in mind that they kind of interlock a little bit. So what you don't want to do is put one under tray on, only to find out that you should have started on the other one first, basically. So yeah, just a little consideration to have as they go back on. So once the starter relay is located above that under tray, that's obviously under the seat, just locate, or take this, cover off. Just going to take the little, use some snips there, just purely to pull that little rivet nut up there. So you'll find it comes up here. There's plenty of space under the seat, as you can see from here. So what we tend to do is just locate it under one of the wires maybe, or you can drill this, cable tie it, you can cable tie around this unit. Really, it's difficult to advise on this part because different people can have different units under here. Some people have aftermarket accessories under here, but so long as it's in and you're under this line here, which is obviously your seat line, it's going to be in there and it's going to be fine. So we'll cable tie that in there, or locate that in there. We just want to pop the 2 locating lugs on this cover back, pop that under there, like so. And then away we go, pop the seat back on. We've obviously done another video regarding the seat removal and seat installation process. Have a quick look at that in the tutorials if you haven't seen that already. That's it, that's everything we need to do. No victims except for my glove. It's a really good mod, this one, because it doesn't involve any parts purchases. This is basically, I need a T25 and I need 15 minutes of my own time, and it really, really cleans up the side of the bike and the look of the bike. So yeah, real smart mod. Give it a go. If you haven't got into the garage so far and had a chance to have a play, then just get in and give it a go and you know, start your journey here with customizing.